All right, now that we have our intent created, we have a new NLU model, and we've gathered our utterances by looking at our data, the next thing to do is to run our first set of batch testing. To access batch testing in ServiceNow, you're going to find it under the NLU workbench. And then we're going to need to make a test set. Now, to make a new test set, we're going to have to import the file and list of utterances that we made in the previous section. One important thing to note is the format of this file. We have two columns, one for the list of utterances and one for the expected intent. This is how the batch testing in ServiceNow will know what intent to expect from the utterance you provided to test against the NLU model we created. Now, one last thing to keep in mind is you are able to test multiple intents in one set of batch testing as long as it's in the same NLU model. In this case, we're just doing the one branch that we focused on, which is Oracle Access, as that's the branch that we built out when we built the topic. But you are able to do multiple. With the file formatted correctly and ready to go, we can create the test set now. Go ahead and hit the Create Test Set button. Give the test set a name, and select the file. And then hit Create. Now with the test set imported, we're going to run our first batch test. Go to the top right and hit Run an Analysis, and we're going to select the test set we just created and our NLU model we made in the previous section. I'm going to hit Run. And you can see that our batch test is running, and this can take several minutes or even longer depending on the size of the batch. Alright, now that the test is completed, let's take a look at the results. The first thing we're going to take a look at is the different types of results that batch testing can generate. There are three primary types of results and one kind of extra type. The three primary are correct. Correct meaning that the intent we expected to provide with the utterance against the model is what comes up. So these 75% of the utterances we had in our batch test would have brought up Oracle if a user was using it in the virtual agent. The next result is incorrect. Means that a couple of our utterances are bringing up a different topic or a different intent with that utterance. And lastly, we have missed. What this means is that the utterance is not triggering any intents at all, and for the user experience that means that the chatbot would ask them to rephrase or say it in a different way because it's not triggering any matches with any intents in the model. The bonus result, which is also important to keep in mind, is correct among multiple. What this means is that while it is bringing up the correct intent, that being Oracle, it's not the only option that is matching. So there could be multiple options. While this is better than correct or incorrect or missing, this is still not optimal because we wouldn't want the user to have to continually repeat themselves and say Oracle in an utterance and then have to select Oracle from a list again. We'd rather take them straight to it. So this would also be something you look at when trying to optimize the NLU. So here, out of our 20, you can go to detailed results, and you can see exactly which were correct and their confidence levels. We'll talk more about confidence levels when we fine-tune the NLU itself. And then here we can see we have a couple that are correct among multiple. What are the other intents that were popping up? And then which were incorrect or missed. And that's how to utilize batch testing in ServiceNow to test and improve your NLU model.